Okay, so let's kind of bring this full circle for a couple minutes. So I've talked about squeeze page, sales page, order page, upsell, thanks page. Let's, internet permitting, build that whole thing real briefly. We won't even put in copy, but let me just connect the dots for you guys. Is that okay? So it'll be a little bit technical. Keep in mind we only have a few more minutes, but pay attention and just remember if you miss a step, it's fine because the recordings will be up. So try to follow along here. So here in Infusionsoft, I am going to start right from the beginning. And let's think, I'll go ahead and use Campaign Builder. And at the one step, I'm going to need to use a classic order form. So how quickly can we build a whole funnel is the question here. So I'll add a campaign. And right now, at the beginning of a campaign, I didn't really cover this the other day, but right here at the beginning, you're in what they call mapping phase. So let's say the first step was I wanted them to get something free. That's my squeeze page. Then they're going to go to a sales page, which is an optimized press page. It doesn't really need to be here. But what they do on the sales page, if they do what I want, is they end up buying, right? So I want them to do that. Then I want them to buy. Then I want them to buy again, the upsell, yes? So let me give myself some space, zoom out a touch. Okay. I'm leaving myself a little bit of space between all these things so that I can squeeze in some sequences and so forth. But I'm going to assume that when they download the free thing, they don't immediately buy, so I have a sequence to follow up. So let's say this is deliver goods, get them to buy, right? And remember, because we are delivering the goods, pull this out. Right here, remember how we talked about the other day that I could continue this sequence if I wanted, whether or not the next goal was completed? So I'm going to go ahead and do this in this case, just so that the goods get delivered. That's fine. And they purchase online, and then this says, get them to buy the upsell, right? And here again, we have purchase online. So this is purchase the $47 item, and this is purchase the $147 item, okay? So we're all on the same page as far as if my order was for 47 and my one-click upsell was for 147. Does that make sense to everybody so far? Okay. So this web form here that we want to set up, this is the first step in the process. They're a brand new person to me. And again, I'm not going to do copy, but imagine we had some of those headlines that were pretty enticing to get someone to grab the free thing. I want their first name. I want their email. That's great. I'll change it to ready. I'll go back to campaign. So that guy's ready. And I'll connect him to our little sequence. The sequence, I'm not going to bother putting emails in. You can imagine dragging a bunch of emails and saying whatever to get him to buy. Fine. I think I do, though, need to switch it to ready. And then this one, I'm going to say this is on a specific product purchase, and I actually have, do I have a $47 thing somewhere? Mastery Classic, I think it's $47. And then again, we connect it to the emails, and I should connect this too. So we connect it here. This would have some emails. I'd make it ready. I'd go back. I'd take this one and connect it here. And I'd open him up and I'd say, you're also a specific purchase. And this one, they have to buy the, and I'm just picking random products here, but I wanted something for less money. It's okay. We can change the price of it. So that's fine. Mastery Live training ticket, whatever. So I want them to do this little $47 weird thing. What did we pick? Mastery Classic. And then I want them to buy this. So here's how we actually deploy this into our pages, okay? Right here on the web form, and I apologize, let me hit this publish button so we're published. Okay. And now on the web form, I'm going to come in and I'm going to get my code. Go to the unstyled HTML, just copy all that. Here in Optimized Press, I'm going to say I need a new page, and this is going to be my funnel squeeze page. I would add a bunch of headlines, and ultimately the settings, the nuts and bolts of it, are that I go to the squeeze page options because it is a squeeze page. I'll just do number 1. So it's a squeeze page, so I go to my squeeze page options, I add my headlines and so forth. Ultimately, though, the nuts and bolts is the opt-in autoresponder code. I just drop that right there, and I get my button. And let's just keep it real simple. Use selected. And I go up to the top right at the beginning, by the way. If I put my cursor here and hit save, the only weird thing about it is what I'm submitting is the form, and it'll save it as a draft instead of publish it. Once it's published, it'll update it every time. So little nuance there, but hey, now we have a squeeze page. And this is how I typically go about this, by the way. I build my page to here, and then I test it. Where do we end up? Thank you page. All right, so here in Optimize Press, we need, instead of a thank you page, we want a sales page. So I open that in a new tab. Let me close some of these. So now I'm making the funnel sales page. And I come down and I say, you are now a sales page. And down here, the real nuts and bolts are that I go into the sales page options, and I need a link in the button right here. Obviously headlines and bullets and other things. But I come down and I pick my button, pick whatever I want here. Let's delay it for 3 seconds. And we need a URL. So to get the URL, I'm going to come back into Infusionsoft. And what do we need? An order form, right? Because we're talking about the sales page, which leads to the order form. So let's make ourselves an order form in Infusionsoft. So I come and I say, we had this test design. Why don't we just use that guy? We'll grab the URL. We'll come into Optimize Press right there and paste it. And we'll say we're going to show that button after content. We scroll all the way up. We publish it. And so now this funnel sales page, it's got no headline or anything, but the button should appear. That needs to be the thank you page setting on that web form that we made. So remember, the web form went to a generic thank you page. Where did we want the squeeze page to go? To the sales page, right? So I'm copying the sales page URL, and here in Infusionsoft, I'm going to go back a little bit. Come on. Back into my campaign builder. This is why I typically open more windows. Back into my funnel. Back into the form that we made, because the thank you page setting is right here. I want to go to a web address, and I want to pass their info if there is info. And then this is good. I go back to campaign. I publish. I publish. So for me, I typically end up testing this a bunch of times at every little level. So I come in here again and I say, okay, let's go to the squeeze page again. Let's try this again. And it should send me to my sales page, right? Which has the button. Ultimately, when I click the button, it sends me here. I could style that easily watching the video, yes? And I could put on copy and so forth. Let me pull this over for you guys who can't see that very well.